So we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Instead of checking out all the new things going on in the world of cocktails and spirits, we're gonna check out some of the old things. There's a lot of history that goes into this cocktail revolution that we're riding right now. And I brought one of the foremost authorities on the topic, Dr. David Wondrich. So we're here in Chinatown, going to Apotheke. We're gonna look at a couple of these cocktails and break them down side by side, how we make them today and how we used to do it. Check out the tools and the styles and see what's different. It's time to go behind the drink. Dave.
Andy.
Hey, good to see you, man.
How are you? Good to see you.
How's
Welcome.
everything?
Good.
Being here at Apotheke is really a great place. So much kind of old vintage style going on here. This is really what you've spent a lot of your most recent years delving into, history of cocktails, where they come from, all the tools and vintage things. How did you get interested in that?
The tools in particular, I was writing my book Imbibe, a book about Jerry Thomas, who wrote the first bartender's guide. I was trying to figure out the recipes, and I realized I couldn't really do them right if I didn't know what kind of tools they were using, because they'd say like a glass of this, and what size glass? I went on eBay, I started haunting antique stores, and so it started to get really, really obsessive. Okay, sure. Stabby, stabby. This is the original Jigger. You can't really stand it up the wrong way, you know, so it always drains. Lemon squeezer, wood.
Look at that, baby. That's fantastic.
I know, that's a juicer. And then the improved version out of cast iron, wood, porcelain. There's a rubber gasket under that. This thing's got about 6 or 7 parts and weighs a ton.
6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
You can put a beat down on somebody with that. I think we're gonna get into making some drinks now. I thought it'd be cool to do a couple of classic drinks in an old-fashioned version and as we see them today.
We make things broadly in the same way. There's just a couple little touches here and there, you know, those are the differences. But sometimes those touches mean a lot.
Okay, so we'll start with a Manhattan.
Back in the day, they would have started with cracked ice. So even before making the drink, they'd have to get the ice together. It would be pounded or shaved.
So if I'm gonna make a classic Manhattan as we see it today, I'll start with my mixing glass and put an ounce of vermouth in to get that one going.
I would put in 1.5 ounces of vermouth, equal parts vermouth and whiskey. Early on in the Manhattan, they liked it kind of half and half.
So then from my vermouth, I'm gonna actually double up. I'm gonna do 2 ounces of rye whiskey on top of that. So at that point, I'll put in the Angostura bitters.
They used Angostura back then, or they used Peychaud, or even orange bitters. Each one gives a little bit of a different accent, you know, it's a matter of choice. So I'm gonna use Peychaud. It's a nice kind of bright cherry flavor. And then I'm gonna dash in some absinthe. Why would you do it? Well, it suddenly kind of spanks the thing. It makes it wake up a little bit.
So then I'll just stir this up, give it 20 or 30 good stirs over my big ice. I wanna make sure that I get both the cold drink and the dilution that I need.
Well, I would do pretty much the same thing. They would always use cracked ice or shaved ice, you know, made the drink a little bit colder and got some more dilution in there to make it a softer tasting drink.
And then take my julep strainer and strain that into a cold cocktail glass.
Take my julep strainer. This is going to be, of course, silver plated and a thing of beauty that will flash in the gaslight. I'm going to put a twist on mine.
I would like a twist on mine as well. Some things never change.
Some things never change.
And today's Manhattan.
The classic Manhattan cocktail.
All right, so that's a good example of a classic stirred drink. How about a classic shaken drink? And more to the point, a classic sour, the whiskey sour.
Why not? Well, for this one, I'll use my French bar gear because, you know, I'm fancy that way. I would start with squeezing the lemon into the shaker, half a lemon. I might not even measure the juice. You know, they just say squeeze it in, so let's squeeze it in.
That's a lemon squeezer.
Yeah, you put the lemon in and strangle it at birth.
Yeah, you do. And I'll measure out the lemon just because in this case, I'm trying to hit a formula somewhere around 2 ounces strong, 1 ounce sweet, 1 ounce sour is a good 2-1-1 basic sour formula. So I'll squeeze my lemon juice into my jigger so I can see exactly how much I get. I'll put that in my mixing glass and then I'll just try and match that with simple syrup.
I'm not going to use syrup, I'm going to stir in sugar. It makes a slightly different drink.
I'll take the whiskey, go 2 ounces over my 1-1 with the sweet and the sour.
My jiggers, the old jiggers, are a little small for modern taste, so I might let a little extra slip in there. I'll use the Parisian shaker, as it's called, although it was actually invented in America, but shake.
I mean, you get a good workout just picking that up, let alone making a drink.
And you shake the ice in it and the cubes smash on the bottom. and I'll strain it into my glass. But then I'm going to add another step, and I'm going to float a little layer of dry red wine on top to give it what they call the claret snap. And it just kind of looks beautiful, but it also makes the drink really come alive. And this is one of those great, easy tricks.
All right, so we've got final products here. We've got
right.
your versions, more traditional old-fashioned versions, and kind of the updated classics. The more modern classic version of this, if you will, it puts the whiskey up front.
The older version is maybe a little bit softer and a little bit more aromatic.
A little bit more elegant in terms of the overall drink, but then that little kick of the absinthe gives it a little extra.
Yeah, it kind of makes you shake your head for a second. It's like, whoa, what's in there?
Which just happened to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's take
Thanks, I needed that.
I'll see what these sours are up to.
All right.
Well, I'll go with yours this time. I like that it's a touch more sour because of the granulated sugar.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And obviously the red wine adds not another level of kind of a bitter tannic component but at the same time add a lot of complexity to the drink. Nice extra layer of flavor to what is, I mean, basically a straightforward sour.
It's a very simple drink, but even at its very simplest, like the classic modern whiskey sour, I defy you to find anything wrong with that.
There's nothing.
You know, that is a thoroughly sound drink that you can enjoy the hell out of.
Yeah, I mean that's a good
bang, balanced, perfect.
So Dave, thank you very much. This has been tremendously informative and lots of fun.
Mixing some drinks, talking some history. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. And I see that there are cocktails here that probably need to be consumed.
Well, you know, no cocktail left behind, Andy.
Never. So I'm going to try this classic. I see that our cameraman's getting a little thirsty, so let's let him
the
have
poor
his.
man, he's been suffering.
Well, don't forget to click subscribe so you can come back and see all the cool things as we go behind the drink.
It's always happy hour on Why Would You Eat That? This time, the office gets a visit from the Green Fairy, and she makes a mean absinthe cocktail. 4 contestants, 200 hot wings, 1 incredible female eater, and 2 insane hosts, divided by a party bot. Stuffed is a perfect 10. You do the math. Snoop isn't the only one who loves gin and juice. Watch cocktail scientist Dave Arnold craft a cool chemistry set version. You just want a burger that's mad good? This is one Italian meatball that ain't gonna bite back. Hey! And so forth. Subscribe for more free tasted treats.